add in show notes. So a girl's got to now do show notes. Mamarazzi, hello. Hi, Bev. How are you? Hi, Nietzsche. Hi, Pickles. How are you doing? John's Crystals. Hello. Welcome in. Thanks for coming in. Okay, let me just show notes. Go to my clipboard. Find the darn show notes. I've done a lot of clipboarding today. Clearly. Holy cow. Yeah, did a lot today. Okay. I think, there we go. Post, that'll do. Reptile Guy, Chantal Quinn B, hello. Hi, Mamarazzi. Lisa Law, hello. Hi, Bev. The Reptile Guy, what's up? Malachi's Madhouse. Did I say that right? I hope I said that right. Custom Wood Burning, hello. How are you? Hi, East Ender Resales. How are you? Oh, yeah, Timeless Treasures. How's it going? Do you have more sign-up sheets to send me? I think I'm behind on raids. Same, if you still have the link, just you can use the link and it's the same code. If not, just message me and I'll send it to you. Peacock bought a Labubu from a Canadian seller. Yes, from a Canadian seller. Hello, that's awesome. I love it. Yay. Yeah, so just let me know if for some reason, now, import from inventory. I forgot to import the resources. Free resources for Whatnot sellers. Input one item. Hi, Angela Ashley. Long time no see. I look so tan and glowing. It's probably because I just rubbed my face. But thank you, darling Mook. How are you? Hang on. Okay, I did this. I got to pin this. Okay, pin that. So now the people who have that good here, feels like I haven't seen you in a minute. Yes, happy Monday. I haven't seen you in a while. You've been busy. I've been busy. Super Evie. Hello, how are you? Kitten Lady Rescue. I don't know if I said hi to you, so I'm saying hi again, just in case. Vintage Artifacts. Hello. Okay, hang on. I got to find the darn file again. There it is. Hello. Okay. So we have a topic tonight, but it's not like it's not the official topic of that Whatnot wanted me to talk about. It's something else. I've decided Monday nights are going to be about Welcome to Kim's TED Talk, where Kim will talk about things. And today's TED Talk is going to be about the summer slump, because I've had so many messages. If you messaged me recently, you're not the only person who messaged me recently to say, hey, is it just me, or is Whatnot slowing down? Hey, guess what? Yeah, Tim's TED Talk. This is my third summer. This is my third going into a summer with Whatnot. And every summer this happens. And every summer people say, something's wrong with Whatnot. The sales have slowed down. What's going on? Oh my God. I know, yard sale season. It's super dead every month that starts with a J. Yes, exactly. It's the dog days of summer. It's the post-Christmas. January is always a challenge. There are seasons in retail, and I think we forget sometimes that we are retail. Like, right? We're not selling at retail prices. Hello, Melody, and hello to Michelle. How are you? An IBCC shop. Perfect time for you to have surgery. Yes, it's a perfect time to have a vacation if you're going to have a vacation because other people are also having a vacation. However, you don't need to, if you want to build your business during this time, have I got a TED Talk for you today? That's right. Prepare your thyself. Okay, so when I'm doing this, I'm going to try and stay up with the chat, but I might miss questions. If you have questions unrelated to this, feel free to ask them, but I will probably finish doing the slide deck first, and then we'll go into questions unrelated to summer season. So let me see if I can. I know it's a Kim chat. It's my TED Talk. Okay, I just have to adjust. Yes, I did. Thank you so much for that. That was really awesome, Kitten Lady Rescue. I appreciate that. Very interesting. Super interesting. Okay, so sizzling. Let me see if I can zoom in. That's my fancy zoom out, zoom in. Mary, lack. Friend Ruse, hello, how are you? Okay, so sizzling sales in a summer slump. Hi, Crazy Beat Lady. Long time no talk. So, sizzling sales in a summer slump. Every year so far, this is my third summer, and every year there's a slowdown in the summer. It's a retail thing. Now, sorry, I'm going to switch again. I should put this on. Can I say that 10 times fast? I probably could. I live in a cottage country vacation area. So in our area, our businesses ramp up during this time. They actually, like, between late October and until middle of May. Ishi, what's up? Ishi's starting his own coffee company, y'all. Sandra, hello. How are you? So in my area, the summer season is the busy season and then it dies down, right? But for like regular retail outside of cottage country, vacation areas, you have a slowdown. So this is not something that is unique to Whatnot. It's not about the app, it's about the reality of people having different priorities. So we're going to talk about that. So sorry, hang on. I think what I'm going to do, since I've got my very fancy PowerPoint, is I'm going to use the face cam so I don't have to keep switching back and forth. Okay, there I am. It's not the best angle for me, but you've seen me in worse situations, so I think you can live. Okay, so summer sizzling sales in a summer slump. Sizzling sales in a summer slump. So first and foremost, slump happens. You can put that on a bumper sticker or a t-shirt. Slump happens. Summer equals vacations and distractions and lower screen time. However, as I said this morning, lower screen time is relative based on the weather that's outside. The nicer the weather is outside where people live, the more likely they are to be outside enjoying the weather and doing outdoor activities than inside on their phone. But, for example, in Florida, every afternoon, there's a big rainstorm and everybody goes in and they'll be on their phones. In like some areas of the country, they'll have like days of like raininess, which usually happens on the weekends. Has anyone noticed that if you book vacation, that's when the rainy time happens? It's guaranteed. So there is lower screen time, but at the same time, there are opportunities and people are still coming onto Whatnot, just not at the same rate. And you might not have them also for as long as they were before because there's way more distractions. Also, you have to think about the economy and how the economy shifts for people personally during the summer. So as soon as gardening season happens, a lot of people shift the extra money that they have from buying on, say, Whatnot to buying flowers and stuff, right? The very I just spent $50 to grow a tomato, a cherry tomato, that kind of thing. And then also there's people are spending money on vacations. They're away from their phones more because they're spending more time with their family, or they have the kids at home. So suddenly, instead of being home waiting for until it's time to pick up the kids from school and they're hanging out on Whatnot, they've now got the kids to deal with. So that doesn't mean that just because there's a summer slowdown or a slump doesn't mean that it's not still an opportunity, because sellers themselves also take vacations with their families and have kids at home and everything else. Those same distractions that bring slightly less buyers on at times, you will also find that there are less sellers on. And a lot of your bigger sellers will take this period of time to go on vacation with their families. So fewer sellers equals more opportunity for you if you're a smaller seller to get in and get yourself, and especially if you're a new seller, get your feet wet, get used to Whatnot while it's not so busy so that you can build your business during what's it's statistically slight time. So you can be like this person and get creative, not quiet during the summer. Start to have some fun, do some fun things, try out some new things during this time, and see what works and what you enjoy and what you don't enjoy. Don't just also say, well, it's a slump, I'm not going to bother doing a show. No, do a show. Do a show and do it different. Do something fun. So here's my recommendations. And if you want to, you can swipe to the left and that'll take away the chat. So you'll just see this. So test, tweak, and stand out. So let's talk about some of the things you can do. So first and foremost, try new formats. Flash sales have just been around since what, December? Try doing more flash sales. Try some surprise sets. Make sure you read the rules on surprise sets before you do them. Because if you get reported on and you haven't done surprise sets correctly, you could actually lose your selling abilities on Whatnot. So do not mess around with surprise sets. Make sure you read the rules first at help.whatnot.com. But surprise sets are a lot of fun and something you can definitely do. Sorry, this is going to continue to try and save battery power. Also, try like BOGO shows. Those are just some ideas that you can do. So try new formats. How about you change your show to a different time? So if normally your show is in the afternoons, but you're noticing that a lot of your regulars aren't on in the afternoons, and you know that they're moms, then maybe it's because they're dealing with kids. So try maybe early in the morning when the kids are sleeping in, if that also works for you, or during lunch breaks so that you're catching people when they're on their lunch break. Try different show times and test it out and see. Again, pick show times that work for you first and foremost. And Kitten Lady Rescue says, just because other people are doing it doesn't make it okay. It just means they haven't been caught yet. Exactly. Yeah. Also, collaborate with other sellers. This is a great opportunity to join raid trains, to do co-hosting, chat with friends and see like, hey, you know what? Why don't we do something together that's like themed? And I'll start and then you go after me and then we'll raid into our third friend. You don't even have to do like big raid trains. You could just organize like a mini raid train or an event. Get creative and do some other stuff with other sellers. That are in your category, or even better, outside your category. And then also look at some different pricing strategies. So some of you just use auction. Why not try putting some stuff in your buy it now instead? And then just highlighting it, pinning it, showing it, talking about it, and leaving in your buy it now, or running a flash sale on it from your buy it now, or offering fun bundles. Make up some really fun bundles. That's another option. Look at different ways that you could adjust your pricing to make it more attractive to people. The other thing to do, I mean, this is something you should be doing anyways, no matter what, but double down on your engagement. So run summer themed giveaways. If you want to run a giveaway, run and advertise it ahead of time, like way ahead of time, days beforehand. Advertise that you're going to do a really cool giveaway in your summer themed show, and I'm going to give away this fun summer themed drinks pack or something. So do some fun summer giveaway and make sure that you advertise it, talk about it. Don't just like put it in your show and then when people come in you tell them about it. Tell people about it way beforehand. In every one of your shows before this fun summer themed giveaway show, talk about how you're going to be doing this fun giveaway show and there's going to be this awesome thing and check it out. Look at what I've got. The Gumpy Man is somebody who does really good self promotion, and if you follow him on YouTube, then you will see in his shows he is the king of self promotion. Do some of those things to self promote yourself and constantly remind people, hey, by the way, don't forget I've got this show coming up and I'm going to be doing this really awesome giveaway, so make sure you bookmark this show to get involved. Use Instagram. The share button doesn't get used enough, friends. The share button is not used enough on Whatnot. It's an awesome free feature that Whatnot has that helps you share your shows and share your items. So start using your Instagram stories, use polls on Instagram, put in sneak peeks. Like, guess what? I'm going to show you part of something that I'm about to sell. Can you guess what it is? Or can you guess what the next theme is? Do some fun things to get people to engage with you. Ask people questions in your Instagram to get them to respond, as opposed to just some flat, non-interactive post. And Instagram has a lot of really great stickers that you can use, that you can add on, that like ask questions that people can answer, or add polls. Sorry, there's all kinds of really cool stickers that you can use. Start playing around with Instagram and you'll find that there's some amazing things that you can do. And this is super important. I say this all the time, but it's really important during a summer slump. Focus on entertainment, not shows. I don't know how to say this any other way. Focus on the fun and the sales will follow. So people who come into your shows and you consistently are someone that they love spending time with, they're going to come back to your show for sure, right? So ask yourself, what is it that you like about other people's shows that you could replicate? What is it that you enjoy about other shows on Whatnot that make you want to stay in there? It could be as simple as them saying hi to you or answering your questions or that they just do fun things. Melody says just right now, I had no sales yesterday, but it was so much fun hanging out with everybody. Yeah, Melody got to show off all these awesome vintage hats that she got from an estate sale. And Melody's going to sell them. She will sell them. It's just in that moment and space and time, the folks that came into the room weren't interested in hats. But that doesn't mean that hat people aren't out there, just not that day, but having fun with it. And I'm sure hats would be so much fun to just put on and act silly and be kind of fun with. I'm sorry I missed the show. Kitten Lady Rescue, I did a 9-hour show and had 4 ladies stay with me the whole time, and so I have 4 new friends. Yes, isn't that awesome? So focus on entertainment and not the sales. Again, hey Ishi, Ishi is not new at all. You're so funny. Focus on the entertainment, not the sales. The sales will definitely follow when you're having fun. When you have fun, other people have fun. Other people are more likely to open up their wallet and spend money with you if they're having fun with you. And then you can also do some other things. Don't just limit yourself to, I've got this used dog ball. It's also a dryer ball. I can sell that. I'll start it at $1. There it goes. I'm starting it at $1. Why not do some Q&As, do some trivia, like dig through some of your like, if you're cleaning out your closet and you find some funny pictures of yourself from when you were a teenager, show those. Do something different during downtime in your show. Take little breaks when you need to just have a little bit of fun. And Kitten Lady Rescue says, don't be afraid to ask them what they want you to do, because we did boxes and then they said open and sell, and we did perfect. Yes. Sometimes the audience will tell you what it wants. Sometimes it will be dead silent. Both is okay. So continuing on with doubling down on engagement, create fun show themes, like do a Christmas in July. Christmas in July is super popular on Whatnot. Christmas in July shows do really well. Vacation vibe shows, backyard bargain shows. Afternoon Antico has been doing clearance shows lately and like has been doing really well with those. Like her sales numbers are great. I've been going in and just looking at sold numbers, and they're great. Do something a little different and create themes that you can stick with, or just do them one time only. You know, if you do Christmas in July and it works really well and you still have Christmas stuff, why not do Christmas in August? There's no law that says you can't do Christmas in August or June. There's no law. In fact, Christmas is all the time. Halloween is all the time. Also, join or create your own summer raid train. If there's no raid train during the summer and you want to be on a raid train and there's no raid train in your category, then message a couple of people and say, hey, would you like to do a raid train in this category? And if at least 2 people say yes, then you automatically have at least 3 people in a raid train. That's a mini raid train. The raid train does not have to last all day. A raid train can last 3 hours, an hour and a half. It's still technically, it's just a shorter train. It does not have to be a full day in order to be considered a raid train. So do your own raid train. Give this slump the chance to give you the opportunity to collaborate with other sellers on Whatnot. Also, create FOMO, and I'm going to get into the rewards thing. So create FOMO, fear of missing out. Limited time offers work. Again, you're going to have to use your social media. You're going to have to use your engagement strategies that we talked about earlier. You're going to have to use all of that. You're going to have to share your shows. You're going to have to promote the living daylights out of yourself, like you would if you were a business, in a brick and mortar business. Advertise, market. So schedule like short, snappy shows that are only like 20-minute power picks. I'm 20 minutes and I'm going to run like 20 things in 20 minutes and they're all going to be great deals. That kind of stuff. Hey, Millicent, do launch time drops and countdown sales. So say I am going to, if you're doing like something in the toy category, then say you're going to have like 5 special really hot collectibles, and they're going to be dropped um 5 days from now in a special show, and then tease that out. Do surprise lightning deals or flash sales every 10 minutes. So every 10 minutes go, okay, it's 10 minutes is up, we're going to run the next thing for $1 or $2 or $5, depending on what you can afford. But let's run this thing for a super lightning deal, and then run flash sales, which are out of your budget now, and you control what the discount is on that as well. So use flash sales and run them every 10 minutes and say every 10 minutes there's going to be special flash sales, or every 10 minutes we're going to do another giveaway, or we're going to do another deal, another lightning deal, which is just a lower start bid for something. And also, if you have certain things that are really hot commodities, even if you're in vintage decor, there's things that people drool over on Instagram. If you have one of those things, announce ahead of time that you're going to only be selling this on this date. On this date only. Next Saturday only. This is the only time that I'm offering it on Whatnot. Promote tools. I'll talk about that for sure. Yeah, I will definitely talk about promote tools. So you can do that. You can do like exclusive things that you're only going to sell on Whatnot just this once. Normally you sell it on eBay or Etsy or whatever, but this time I'm going to sell this on Whatnot. I'm going to start at a lower price, but it's just this one time exclusive. And you, my friends who follow me, are going to be able to get in on this. You can do those kind of things, offer exclusives, things that they're not going to be able to get any other time. Limited time offers work. Fear of missing out is real. We all go through it. Fear of missing out is real. It's why it works. That's why so many car salesmen, limited time deal. This deal is only good for the next 30 days, or as soon as you walk off this lot, this deal isn't available anymore. My manager won't let me repeat this. Fear of missing out works. Also, make sure that you build hype through preview posts and through live teases and mystery item reveals. So again, all these things that can help you to just create some excitement and hype around. And this is all about promoting. Now, Lisa Law asked about promote tools. And I'm going to just switch for a second. Oh, hello. Okay. Move out of the way there thing. So promote tools. Promote tools are a part of Whatnot that is similar to Google Ads, in that when you use promote tools while you are live during your show, Whatnot will put your little thumbnail, and your live tile will go higher up and be discovered by more people than it normally would. They will push it out to more people who would be likely to come into your show while you're live. It only works while you're live. It's not a promotion prior to your show, so it's not to build bookmarks. It is a while you're live promotion, and it's like an ad. And you'll see often, if you look on, let's see if we can find one. Hang on. Let's see. Please hold. Let's see if we can find one. We're going to go into the lobby. I'm going to see if we can find one on here. It will say sponsored on it, which is how you know. Now, on the weekends, I find there are way more sponsored shows. More people are likely than on a Monday night, because Monday night isn't as busy on Whatnot for doesn't have as many sellers. I can't even find one. I'm continuing to scroll. I cannot find one that says sponsored. But it would actually say up in here, it would say sponsored. And that would mean that someone had paid to have it seen by me. Now, sometimes it's seen, I've noticed that it's people who would already follow me, but I'm just getting pushed up higher on this For You page. I'm up higher. So I'm like down, instead of being way down here, I get pushed way up here instead. Thank you, Robin. So that's promote tools. And the really cool thing is, and I think someone just said it. Kitten Lady Rescue said, I did that promote thing during a show, and it said when somebody arrived and joined through the promotion. Yeah, it will. It will show up. Yes, and if you're a US seller, you can use reduced shipping, and reduced shipping will show up as well. And a lot of people love reduced shipping. We don't have that in Canada, not yet. Hang on, I got to go back to my slide deck. So promote tools is really great, Lisa. The thing is to make promote tools work for you, you need to look first at your click-through rate, because promote tools only works as great as your show is attractive to people. So whatnot could show you like 100 times to the same person, but if your thumbnail or your what they see from the live tile, when it shows you the actual show and you can listen in from the lobby, if you're not interesting, they're not going to click in. And I can tell you that when I've tested promote tools during one of these shows, that a lot of people don't come in because they're not looking to talk about Canada Post strike or whatever else I am talking about. So they're not interested. They want to see stuff, right? Like if I was holding up some stuff, maybe they'd be more interested. But your thumbnail can also grab attention. So your click-through rate is really important. If you don't have an interesting show or an interesting thumbnail, don't waste your time on promote tools, because you're not going to have people clicking in, or not many people clicking in, not enough to make it worthwhile. You want to have at least 10% click-through rate to really make it worth your while. However, the promote tools, when you use promote tools, you're actually going to be able to see a whole whack of statistics on how many people came through, how many people saw your thumbnail or your live tile, how many people clicked in, that's your click-through rate, how many of those people followed you, how many of those people bid on something, and how many people bought something. And it's actually very cool to look at. And I had once where it was crazy how each hour the amount of people would shift so I could see when to sell. Yeah. So, but I think the thing is too, is that that's helpful if you have a schedule and an energy level where you can sell whenever you think there's a fluctuation. But I always say pick the date and time that works best for you, adjust as you need to. But if your energy and your life say, I really can only do Monday nights, like for me, Monday nights is the only night that I can really do these chat shows. So it's the only time I do these chat shows. I used to do them on Thursday too. It was too much. It was too much. This is the only night you're going to get me, because this is the best night for my brain to be functioning this late. All right, let me go back to the switcheroo. All right. There we go. All right. It took me back to the first page. So please hold while I do this. All right. We were talking about FOMO. FOMO. Okay, yes, we did FOMO. Okay, so let's talk about promotion. How much does it cost and what's the boost? So the cost is usually around $26 US on average. It depends on what category you're in, Lisa, and how many other people are also, because it's like a bid system, again, similar to Google Ads. So you bid the amount of money that you want to spend, and you can choose to spend for only half an hour or the full length of the show, so you're paying per hour. The boost, I would not recommend using the 15-minute boost unless you are about to sell like an amazing banger item, like the most world's best booster box swung vase, yada yada something. The boost costs you just as much, and it's, again, if your click through, if you're not worthy of being clicked on, you're not going to get any results from it. So improve your click-through rate in the first place, and then you will be able to use promote tools more effectively. What I would suggest is, so that you can just see the statistics to give you an idea, is set up to do a promotion for the first half hour only of one of your shows. So then you can just see, and then you're only spending like half of what you normally would, but you'll get an idea afterwards of how it works. And it's not like you're spending, because if I did a promote right now, promote show, let me see if it's going to let me. Right now, the hourly budget is, I don't know why it's showing me in US dollars. Promote tools is probably still not working for Canadians because I just got shown in US dollars. Let's see. $20 an hour. Hourly budget details. Yep. $20 an hour US right now it's showing me. I don't know why it's showing me in US dollars. So, yeah, maybe we are a 51st state. I didn't get the memo. We did not get that memo. And I feel sorry for Whatnot Louise if that's the case, because he's worked really hard to convert everything. So as Cindy says, as a buyer, I like to have some new items. Having older items in the buy it now is great for those who need to think about a purchase. Yeah, that's a really great suggestion. Yeah, take your stale product, put it into the buy it now. Put your stale product, put it in the buy it now, and then bring your latest stuff into your auction. It's important to repeat things in the auction. You don't have to have brand new stuff all the time, but your regular sellers are going to get pretty bored pretty fast. So yeah, put stuff in your buy it now. You can raise the price. You can raise the price. And then if someone says, will you run that? You can always run it at a lower price and make that part of a promotion. Okay, so getting strategic with promotions. So using, there are so many tools out there that list on a bunch of sites because it confuses me. A lot of Kitten Lady Rescue, a lot of people use those apps that list on a bunch of sites, and you want me to tell you not to do it? I can't use it in Canada because most of the sites are for US based websites, so I can't recommend it for as a Canadian because I can't use it properly. Plus, I don't use a lot of other sites. I diversify in other ways, but it definitely, if you're selling like clothing and that, it definitely saves a lot of time. So clothing sellers would probably say yes, you should use it. If you're not selling in clothing, it's up to you. I just cross posting makes me nervous anyways, but then I don't have access to the same apps because of our limitations with Canadians. It didn't even make it through one listing. Oh, weird. Okay. Don't do it then. I'm telling you, don't do it. No. Shauna, look at all these eggs. Everyone's getting egg. How exciting. So Rewards Club, I'll talk about that in a second. It's in the slide, I promise. It's just deeper down. I didn't expect you guys to mention it so soon. Okay, so use the tools that are out there like Canva, that's the free version of Canva. Use those tools to create short, punchy teaser reels and countdowns for all of your fun shows, all of the items, all the things that we talked about before, all those FOMO sales, all those fun things that you're going to do, all those theme shows that you're going to do. Create short, punchy teaser reels and countdowns. This is a do as I say, not as I do thing because I suck at having the time, sitting down and having the time to do enough social media on this. But if you do it right, and someone to follow is Afternoon Antico. I know I talk about Kylie a lot, but Afternoon Antico does really great reels. What the hell are those? Short, punchy teaser reels and countdowns? Like, guess what I've got coming up, folks? Look, I've got a charging cable. Real charging cable for a real iPhone. That's right, folks. You can't get these anywhere else. During the show, not during the show. Before your show. Before your show. And then promote across platforms. Like, make sure that you're using all the platforms that are available to you. So IG, Threads, Facebook. In fact, if you link up your IG, Threads, and Facebook together, you can post on like IG and it will go to your Threads and your Facebook too at the same time. So it saves you a lot of time. Where does it go before the show on the video thing of the listing? I don't know. Where does it go before the show on the video thing of the listing? I honestly don't know what you mean. Sorry. You'll have to reinterpret that for me. Can you speak in Canadian? Try with a Canadian accent. So promote across different platforms. So Instagram, Threads, and Facebook, that can all link up. So you just have to post once. Use even the ticker talk. Can you believe I even say even ticker talk? Even use the ticker talk because people are still on the ticker talk. They didn't get rid of it. So people are still on that ticker talk, and it works, and you'll have people come in because of that. And YouTube. Don't forget YouTube. We can't forget our precious YouTube. Hello to people watching on YouTube right now. If you're watching and you want to come in and join the conversation, go up to the QR code. It's somewhere over there. So check it out. Also, if you already have good old fashioned, what's the ticker talk? It's like a YouTube but shorter and full of weirdness. More weirdness. I didn't think that was possible because YouTube was pretty full of weird, but it's full of more weirdness in short bursts of weirdness. So, if you already have email lists and direct marketing campaigns, use them. Yes, your age did creep in. That's because we're using the World Wide Web on the interwebs. The World Wide Web. www. Hi, Vintiquity. How are you? Hello, 13 with ADHD. So if you already have email lists for your customers, talk about your whatnot more. Talk about your whatnot. And if you have direct mail, use it for your loyal fans. Like, don't just stick with the new. You can use the good old fashioned ways of communicating. And we've talked before about using, I'm going to just move over for a second. We've also talked before about using your business cards with your QR code to get referrals, because the person that gets referred gets $15 and you get $5. So it's worth it to add that QR code. And you can create a QR code in Canva or just about anywhere else for free. All right, now continue with get strategic with promotions. Cross promote with other sellers or communities. So work with other sellers to say, hey, I'm about to do a really cool show, or I'm about to do a raid train. Do you want to co-host together to talk about our raid train shows? Because we're going to be doing this fun raid train theme and we can talk about each other's stuff. You can always do that. And then also use some hashtags, like you could do whatnot summer sale or sizzling deals or shop from shade, etc. I don't know. You pick hashtags that work with what you're selling, because shop from the shade may not work for everybody. Sizzling deals may not work for everybody. It depends on what you're selling. Use hashtags. Hashtags are your friend. Hi, Allie. And then tweak your inventory. A lot of people don't do this. They don't adjust their inventory for the season. So focus on seasonal appeal. If you are in fashion, you want to hashtags go on your interweb, your social media. Fashion, you want to look at like sunglasses and tank tops and beach bags and lightweight accessories. Oh my. And if you're in vintage, then travel kits and road trip memorabilia and like junk journals for doing travel journals, and summer glassware and tiki decor. And if you're in toys and collectibles, how about pool toys? And I can't read that because the chat's in the way. Travel games and colorful summer themes and fun things like that. Think about focusing on seasonal stuff and leaning into summer as hard as you can. And then also create bundles. So you could do, if depending on what category you're in. So if you were in vintage, you could put together a bundle that was all like barbecue stuff, vintage barbecue items, and put it together as one bundle that you buy this, you're going to get a box of really cool barbecue items, or kids toy, kids games, that sort of thing. Those are also good. Board games for kids for when they're at the cottage and that. And also look at theme surprise sets, and move your stale inventory by pairing it with hot sellers. So do those matchups in those bundles and take your stale inventory that hasn't sold for a while and look how you can creatively create some really cool bundles that with other things that someone might want to buy more. Bundles are your friend. When you're mailing out your stuff, mail out coupons with it. Put in a little summer coupon. Lean into your rewards club heavy. Theme surprise sets. So like say you were in jewelry surprise sets, you could do like all summer colored jewelry instead of just jewelry, or all brooches but they're all summer brooches. Or if you were in clothing, you could do all summer tops, all summer toys, that sort of thing. And then, so mail out coupons. Also lean into your rewards club. So if you have the ability to use rewards club, and you do need to have $1,000 minimum of sales to, and there's a few other requirements, but usually the one that's the last one that's hard for people to get is the $1,000 in sales. Once you get that, set up your rewards club and lean into it heavy. In fact, if you want, mid-season you can change the names. Like, you know how if you look in my rewards club right now at the top there, if you click on the crown, everything is like chicken themed, right? Starts with eggs and works its way up. You could switch it to being summer themed things. So you could really lean into rewards club by adjusting it and making it into summer things. And then when it's time for back to school, you could switch it to back to school themes. It does not affect the coupons, so you're allowed to change your actual little tiers. So you can rename your tiers and put in different copyright free characters instead. Little icons, you can change them to whatever you want as long as they're copyright free. Don't put a whole bunch of Pokemons in. They will not allow that. But you can start leaning into your rewards club more and talk about it more often. Again, this is a do as I say, not as I do. Remind people that you have a rewards club, that you've got awesome coupons. And, to get to the first tier of rewards club, you just need to watch 3 of my shows or buy 1 item, and boom, you'll be in my rewards club and you got lots of coupons. And really get excited when people level up. So I'm sorry I didn't get that excited about egg because I was talking, but yay! Congratulations to everyone who got egg. You've suffered through 3 of my shows. You now have coupons. Congratulations. Go check it out at the top. Go look at the crown. Every time you see someone hit your first tier, talk about it. Say, hey, that's awesome. Check it out. Go look at the crown. See what the coupons are that you could get. You too could be part of this. If you just make one purchase or you just buy $20 worth of stuff, you too could be in this. And then you'd have a whatever, a sombrero, or I don't know, whatever your theme is. I'm making it up now, but you too could have egg. I have a lot of coupons, Millicent. Mine are a bit much. Do not copy my program. It's more than it should be. Nobody copy what I do because you're just going to resent me. Make sure that you shout out for returning customers as much as you shout out for new buyers. A lot of times, like, how in like Hodgepodge's show, if there's a new buyer, everybody puts eggplants in the chat for a new buyer. And some people have like things where you honk a horn or something like that. Yay! If Millicent, if it doesn't work, let me know. I haven't finished fixing all of my coupons since the move over. I have to fix my coupons because I have like 500 coupon codes. It's taking me a while because it's a very time consuming process. I have to go in and edit each one and save it to turn it from American dollars to Canadian dollars so it works. Thank you. I love you, Millicent. So shout out to your new buyers, but also shout out to your returning customers. Like, yay, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, you're a returning customer. Also, mentioning that you've got returning customers is going to make new buyers less nervous because it's like, oh yeah, that's right. That person isn't a new buyer. They've bought from her before, and they clearly like buying from her. So it must be okay. A lot of people are hesitant to place their money in your hands, right? Even though Whatnot has really great customer service and really works with buyers as well as sellers, people are still nervous. A lot of people have been burnt selling, buying. I mean, a lot of people have been burnt buying on different websites, and so they're a little bit nervous about giving you their money. So you celebrating that you have a returning customer is show your egg. Thank you, Millicent. You didn't have to do that. If you showing off that you have a returning customer is going to create a sense of confidence in you. And that's what you want to do. So celebrate your new buyers as well as your returning buyers. And yes, returning customers are super important, and like they're your lifeblood. Your new buyers are super important. The more new buyers you have, the better, the healthier your business is. But at the same time, your returning customers, that's your bread and butter, right?
Your new buyers are your gravy, but your bread and butter, that's what you want. Or not like that weird chip beef stuff we were talking about this morning. I don't think it's possible for you, Ishi. I think it's a permanent condition. Sorry. So make sure that you celebrate all of your customers and then promote local pickup. If you're able to do local pickup, promote local pickup locally. Tell people in your community that they don't have to pay for shipping, that they could buy from you and you'll meet them at the local post office or the police station or the grocery store or the gym, wherever you feel the most comfortable. Antique Market is my favorite place to meet up. Let people know that local pickup is available and spread the word in your community. You'll get lots of new buyers. Sarsaparilla says you can do both local and regular shipping. Yes. So you just have to turn on free pickup. And if you go to help.whatnot.com and just put in pickup, it'll teach you all how to set up your free local pickup. So, and then you have to remind people in your shows, like I'll say it right now. So anybody who's local, if you want, I offer free pickup. Just click on the wallet down below and select and hit the edit button and change from your address to the free local pickup. And then you can just arrange to pick up your items from me locally. And we'll meet at the antique store and go shopping. Easy as that. It's just a quick thing you need to say. That's why having a checklist in front of you. I have the free resources down below. One of them is a show planner, and you can actually remind yourself in that show planner to say that kind of stuff. That's what the show planner is supposed to help with. Bruins through, what's up? Okay. Now, here's another opportunity. It's an opportunity. So, it's a summer slowdown. It's a summer slump. It is what it is. So, how about take that time? Yeah, you don't have as many sales, so you don't have as much shipping to do, which means you have a little bit more time on your hands. So schedule and start teasing some back to school sales, some fall finds shows. How about some Halloween shows? Start scheduling those shows. Start preloading those shows and getting bookmarks and getting pre-bids on that stuff. You will find that you are going to actually have more successful shows if you schedule and set them up way in advance. So start doing, like, back to school. School's barely out in Canada, but back to school is just around the corner. Like, it goes like that. So start doing those shows, schedule those shows, and start talking about those shows and teasing those shows and setting up all your social media ahead of time. You have some extra time on your hands because you didn't make 20 sales in your last show. Good. Use that time to work on the next plan. And then pre-schedule your late summer and early fall shows now. Do all that. Set up for the next. So this isn't working right now. That's okay. Figure out what's to come. What are you going to do for the next week or the next month or the next season? Also, you can begin sourcing for Q4 holidays. This is a great time to go out thrifting or looking for, if you're a pallet buyer, source stuff that is going to be for Q4 holiday buying. So that starts as soon as the kids go back to school. That's when holiday shopping begins, and that's when you should be throwing out there. And if you start sourcing now and start listing it and putting it in your September shows, your September October shows, you're going to have way better sales in September and October because you've already sourced that stuff and you've taken the extra time that you have now because of the summer slowdown to be able to prep for those shows. And then also, this is also a great time if you feel like your branding is a little bit dull and you need to work on your graphics, then this is also a great time to take some time and work on your graphics and work on your branding while it's a bit quieter. If you've been thinking, I really need to work on my logo, but I haven't had time, well, now you don't have an excuse. If you tell me that your sales are going down and so you're not shipping out as much, then you have plenty of time. You have plenty of time. Okay, don't lose focus. Summer slowdowns are real, but they're only temporary. Summer doesn't last forever. I kind of wish it did, from like the heat and the enjoyment of the sun. I don't like snow. I'm not a fan of snow, but summer is temporary like everything else in life. So, and share with each other what's working and what's not. There's a lot of great discussion groups in what we have our unofficial Whatnot Canada Discord. So share things that you find that are working for you this summer and let other people know so that they can also use some of those ideas and grow stronger themselves. And also, oh dear, I'm at the last slide. Also use this time to build trust and your community and your momentum. Keep growing, keep going, keep growing. You've got this. You've totally got this. It's a slowdown. It's not the end of the world as we know it, but I still feel fine. Face cam off. There we go. Okay. Any questions? I'm going to pull my phone down now that I finished with that. Whew, that didn't take me as long as I thought it would. Where do you share your shows? As in, like, what platforms do I use the most? Um, so I use Facebook and Instagram. And hi, Cassandra Rob, how are you? Okay, so let me just see. If anyone having shows tonight feels like it's going to be an insomniac night. Oh no. So Sarsaparilla, I usually share my shows on Instagram and on Facebook and on Discord as well. So within this app, so what you want to do is, so let me go to minimize show. Let me go to my future shows. Seller, keep forgetting where the Seller Hub is. So here's my show for tomorrow, right? Right here, there's this little button. Can you see it that says share? So you just tap on that, and then it's going to come up with all the places where you can share. Oops, daisies. All the places where you can share. So you can just pick where to share. And there's even more apps that it lists, like Gmail and all that kind of stuff. So you just pick it from here. Or you can also go in and, for example, share to your followers. East Under Resales, I'd be very careful with sharing to your Whatnot followers, because it can get spammy and you can get reported for spamming. So use that carefully and gently. You can also go, so say for this particular, buy a black light, give a black light. You can also, there's a little share button right there, and I can just share that to my Instagram. I just hit the wrong button again. So I can do to my Instagram stories, or I can do to Instagram chat. So I'm just going to share to Instagram stories. Wait for it. Oh. Okay. Please hold. My Instagram didn't want to do that. Shared Instagram stories. It wanted to show me something instead. Anyways, it would share that to Instagram, or to your Facebook, or to wherever. So you can actually share items, not just shows. And I highly recommend sharing items. Kid Lady says, I do logo branding and will do for free for anyone in this chat. Oh, that's so sweet of you. Back to all. Okay, so that's it. Yep. Okay. Any other questions? You got a hand scanner for listing. Oh, yes. Yeah, a barcode scanner is a really great thing if you do new items or new inbox, like inboxed items, anything that's got a barcode. You can use a barcode scanner now with Whatnot, and it will load up all the information on it. It's awesome. I haven't had a chance to use it much. I've used it with the camera, the barcode scanner with the camera, and have enjoyed it immensely because it preloads all the descriptions and all that kind of stuff. Robin Matt says, I missed the very beginning, so you might have talked about this already. I am from Canada. How do we manage shipping? Because I've heard that it's hard. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. So Robin, welcome to Whatnot Canada. So step one, are you close to a Chit Chats location, a drop off location? If you are, then select Chitter Chats. If you're not too close to a drop off location, just leave it as Canada Post. Step two, I don't know Homefront Treasure. I have not tried that. Oh, I don't know about that, Crazy Big Lady. I don't know. Does he sell that kind of thing? Does he sell his time? Does Eli sell his time? If he's listening, then he knows why I'm calling him Eli. What am I looking for again? Right. So what you want, your best friend when it comes to shipping, is one of these. Step 2. Thank you, Sarsaparilla. Step 2 is this sucker. You must have one of these. Step 3 is you take the item you're gonna sell. Hello, I have this. It's a mug. It's got a tiny bit of tea in it. Yeah, maybe. I don't know, Crazy Rach. I don't know. I mean, go for it. Why not? Yeah, you can't tell your services on here, but you can privately. I don't know, because he does YouTube and stuff too. Okay, so this is 16 ounces with the bit of tea that's in it right now. Step 3 is to weigh your item. Thank you, Sarsaparilla. Step 3 is to weigh your freaking item. So this item weighs 16 ounces all on its own. But wait, does that mean when I'm listing the item, home front treasure, I know a lot of people do it, but it's because you have to actually get a physical thing. You have to be able to mail out a physical thing. So as long as you say in your listing that you are going to mail out some physical thing, then it's okay. But you have to mail out a physical thing. So let's say I'm going to add this item in. Sorry that I'm shaking the phone. All right, so I'm going to add the item. I'm going to create a quality listing. This is super important. When you get to the point of your listing, you added your picture, you put your description in, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. Then you get to the shipping part. And you go to your shipping profile. And Whatnot already has preloaded, if I can just get it to skip past my stuff. So it already has preloaded all these lovely weights. Okay, so this is 16 ounces. But if I put in 16 ounces, if I put in a pound for this, when I mail this out, it's going to weigh more than 16 ounces. It's going to weigh closer to 2 pounds. So I would not put this as 1 pound. I would put this as 1 to 2 pounds. So you always want to select, when you're selecting the weight of the item for shipping, you always want to select a weight that is heavier than what it is on its own. It has to be weigh it and select the weight based on how much it will weigh once it's packaged. If you're not sure, then just take like a box approximately the right size. And yes, that's not the same as services, but anyways, I won't get into that tonight. Have a great night, Vintiquity. Love you. So you're going to weigh this, and this I'm going to add on the weight. And the weight is going to get me closer to 2 pounds. So I'm going to select 1 to 2 pounds. You can, Ishi says, can I amend the weight afterwards? You can, but that will cost you a shipping adjustment. As of a year ago, we now only get 5 free shipping adjustments. So it's not like before where we could adjust the weight and nothing would happen. Now, you only get 5 free shipping adjustments per week. And so if you're ramping up your sales, you're going to be increasing the number of shipments you're doing. You want to lower the number of shipping adjustments you have to use, because every shipping adjustment after that is going to cost you money. So this is 16 ounces, but by the time I package it, it's going to be more like closer to 2 pounds. So I'm going to put this in the 1 to 2 pound category. If somebody buys something else to go into that same box, no, it's fine, Ishi. Things change very quickly on Whatnot. So if somebody else buys something else to put into that box, like this is going to be added and put into a box with that mug. Well, this, when I wrap it, let's see, this weighs 1.3 ounces, but I'm going to have to wrap this up and it's going to have to go in the box. So I'm going to put that at, I'll put that at 4 to 7 ounces. I would put this at 4 to 7 ounces. Yeah. So 4 to 7 ounces. You would want to do it in the higher level, because then when you do your shipping, Whatnot charges the customer the amount that is what they are going to get charged by either Canada Post or Chit Chats. And so they just increase it a little bit. Hi, little squirrel and baby squirrel. So every time you add something to a box, when you're a buyer and you add something to the box, a little slight amount will get added to your postage charge. Your shipping will go up by maybe 50 cents or 25 cents. And sometimes it's free shipping if you've got a lightweight item that you're adding into a box. So as a Canadian seller, what you just need to do is make sure that your weights are correct and that you are closer to over your weight than under. Now, if your items, no, in fact, it is cheaper to ship to the US than it is to Canada. It's not hard to send to the States. The only issue is, Robin, around the tariffs. So if you're going to use Chit Chats, you cannot ship anything using Chit Chats to the US or anywhere outside of Canada that has a made in China item. And if you go to my YouTube channel, I have shows where I talk just about that. My live shows in the morning, and I usually do that. I'll do the tariff talk in the mornings. So if you're able to come in the morning, just ask me to do my tariff talk and I'll go through that. It's also in my show notes. You can read it in my show notes. Ginger, you just unlocked egg. Congratulations. Millicent, don't forget to turn off your rewards sneak ability so that I don't want you to accidentally out yourself in a show. It's the same as on YouTube. Yeah. So it's not the same as here. It's the Red Rooster shop. But if you go up to my profile, you'll find a link, or if you use this QR code down here, if you just click on it and save it, then it also will take you to a link to my YouTube as well. So it's all there. Shipping for Canadians is so easy. The US has it so much more complicated. They've got flat rate shipping, they've got ground, they've got priority, they've got these free boxes, they've got these free boxes, but you can only use them with certain labels. They have like 70 pounds and 5 pounds and PWE and all kinds of stuff, and it's way more confusing. Ours is simple, easy peasy, cheesy wheezy, lemon squeezy. Just get your weights right, and if your items are two dimensions, yes, it does not automatically do it. If someone buys 3 things, it's going to increase the weight. And so if your item, the bigger your box, the bigger the box gets, the more expensive it's going to get. So if you have items that, for my rule of thumb is if an item is more than 15 inches in any dimension, then I do a custom shipping profile. I don't do, like, big items are way more expensive to ship. And Whatnot has, Chit Chats is more forgiving than Canada Post, I've discovered. Chit Chats has a slightly larger minimum box size before it starts to get more expensive. So, but just make sure if you're going to sell stuff that's over like 15 inches, and I'm sorry, I talk in inches, not centimeters. That's 40 centimeters, then you want to make sure that you do a custom shipping profile. So I tend to keep my stuff small. Heart Center Soul says, tariff is disappointing for me too as US. I used to buy from Canada and overseas. I can't think to ask all the questions before swiping. Yeah, the key one is where is it made? Where is it made? If it's made in, if you're a US buyer and the item is made in China, don't swipe. If it's not a US show. If it's a non-US show and you're a US buyer and it's made in China, don't swipe, because the minimum tariff is now $200. Yeah. It's because I'm old, Millicent, and partway through my early education, we switched to the metric system, which my father always cursed Trudeau Sr. for. Mine was automatically in 15 centimeters the first time when I was like, no, it's 15 centimeters. 15 centimeters by 15 centimeters by 15 centimeters is the base box size for Canadians, which is like less than 6 inches by 6 inches by 6 inches. So our boxes are smaller. Our country is larger, but our minimum box size is smaller. But you don't really need to use it. I don't use a custom shipping profile very often. There are some who like it. Yeah, so I wouldn't worry about trying to keep it at 15 centimeters. I would just say if the item is over 15 inches, then do a custom shipping profile for that item and ship it separately. So yeah, it is 15 centimeters is it, that's automatic. Even if if there's 25 things in the box, it'll still show up as default 15 centimeters by 15 centimeters by 15 centimeters. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have a shipping adjustment. It depends on how far away that person is, how heavy that box is. If they're within Canada and your weight is your actual weight is way lower than what the buyer paid for shipping, then you'll be fine. There won't be much if there won't be an adjustment. And that doesn't mean that the buyer paid extra for shipping, because shipping distance, it because of the way that shipping works, because Whatnot only gives us a like small little box, we do have to keep our weights up in order to avoid shipping adjustments. I'm not talking about like if an item is like 4 ounces, don't put 1 to 2 pounds. I'm talking about like if you add it all up, like if somebody buys 20 pieces of jewelry and I have each one of those pieces of jewelry at 4 to 7 ounces, that's going to be 7 times 20, which is like 70. That's 140 ounces, right? But maybe every item was actually more closer to 5 ounces. So then that's 5 times 20. So that's like 100, right? So it's 100 ounces instead of 140 ounces, but the box size is going to be bigger. And so it all works out in the end. Yeah. So, my husband is throwing the Frisbee around right now down in the basement. Hopefully not going to hit any of my stuff that's down there. Serenity now. Okay. There is a lot of math, isn't there? But I mean, Canadian shipping is way like, if Canadians should never complain about our shipping in front of Americans, because Americans have it. Do you do that? Oh my gosh, Serenity now. Ding. Serenity now. And currently on no, sorry, Heart and Soul. I'm doing my best. Oh, sorry, Robin. I am in Hastings, Ontario. So just east of Peterborough. Half an hour-ish, depends on how fast you drive, east of Peterborough. On the Trent River. So, all right. So it is almost 9 o'clock. So here's the time you're in Calgary. There's a bunch of people from that area. So this is the time to tell us where you're from and what you sell, so we can all follow everybody else. Homefront Treasure says, is there a tariff on all purchases to US from Canada? No. In fact, Homefront Treasure, thanks for asking. I'm going to read it because it's kind of long. It's in my show notes, so you can take a screenshot of it. Hang on. I got to go back to my show. There we go. All right. I'm going to scroll down. It's under, you have to look for the tacos. And if you know, you know. Scroll down till you see 3 tacos in a roll. You sell DTF transfers? That is so cool. Okay, so you ready? Federal judges did rule that the tariffs were unconstitutional, but an appeals court has allowed the administration to keep charging the tariffs while the appeal is heard. And y'all, your U.S. justice system moves as fast as a fart. So this could drag on for months or worse, years. So if you're a U.S. citizen, talk to your elected officials and keep those receipts, not just for tax purposes, but because if this does get ruled unconstitutional, y'all are going to have so many future class action lawsuits. So save your receipts. If you paid any tariff or you were affected in any way by the tariffs, make note of it, because there will be class actions as soon as this gets declared unconstitutional. Officially. No more appeals. There will be class action lawsuits, and you can take them to court and sue them. That's what Americans are famous for. In Canada, we just think of you as people who run around suing everybody else. So For US buyers, here's the real important thing. I know. Well, you're not right. You're protesting in the streets. You're protesting in the streets, not riots and looting. Protesting. No insurrections, protesting in the streets. So here's the question to ask yourself before you buy something, Homefront Treasure, is first and foremost, does the box have at least one thing made in Hong Kong or China? If yes, then US tariffs will apply to that item on any shipment, no matter how many things are in that box. If one item was made in China or is vintage and made in Hong Kong, any of those shipments, at least one of those items is in China, then it will be subject to tariffs. If the box contents, and again, this is in my show notes, so you don't have to write this down furiously. If the box contents are worth $800 US or less, the entire box contents are worth $800 or less, there will be a 54% tariff. That is down from 120 something percent. So, yay. Thank you, Taco. Number two, if the box contents are worth more than $800 US, then it'll only be a 30% tariff. But there is a flat minimum fee. They aren't searching every box, but it's best not to risk it, because there's a flat minimum fee of as of June 1st, it went up to $200. So even so, no matter what, if it's under $800 in value and there's one Chinese product in it, they're doing scans. Guaranteed, Murphy's Law, your box, if you try to get it over the border, will have something made in China, and you'll end up with a $200 bill for something that you paid like $5 for. Not worth it. For other countries of origin, okay, for every other country on the earth, including the Herd Islands, please note that the penguins do have a tariff on them. However, those little penguins and their great industrious little flippers, if they want to ship you something, as long as the box is $800 or less in value, there's no tariffs, taxes, or duties. So, shipping from anywhere except for China into the United States, as long as everything in the box is from anywhere else but China or Hong Kong, and the box is under $800, no tariffs, duties, or taxes. This is called the de minimis exemption. So it is something that's been in law for a long, long time. The de minimis exemption does not apply for Chinese goods. That was part of one of his executive orders of, 1,552 million orders that he's written with his big Sharpie Warpie. So US buyers, all I can say is make sure you know where the item was made before you bid. You'll be paying the tariff, not the seller. This is a tax on the buyer, not on the seller. This is not a tax. China is not going to pay this bill. You're going to pay this bill. So if you're a Canadian seller and you're selling something made in China or Hong Kong, tell your viewers so they can make an informed purchase. So that's the only thing. Do not be afraid of buying from a Canadian show. Like if you come into one of my shows and I'm selling Canadian pottery, none of it will be tariffed as long as you keep your box under $800 in value. And if I'm shipping into the US and you did, for some reason, go crazy in one of my shows and buy over $800 worth of stuff, I will split your box up into two and ship it on separate days for you so that you will not get tariffed or charged. Yes, that's correct, Emerald City Vintage. Anything that's vintage that says Hong Kong on it is part of the Chinese tariffs. If you're shipping it to the US, Hong Kong is tariffed. It's now part of China again. Yep. Yeah. I'm glad you're here for my show. Welcome in. There's so much to learn. You'll have to go and watch all of my YouTube videos because there's a lot to learn. So, Canadians buying from the US. There are many tariffs, duties, and taxes for Canadians that we already had before all this BS started. But there are some extra ones now. So be cautious and research before you make a big purchase, because the Canadian Border Service Agency is charging duties, taxes, and tariffs for all of it. And especially for particular products, stamps is being tariffed, and clothing. clothing made in the USA. So if you're a vintage t-shirt buyer that buys vintage t-shirts from the US, you're buying made in the US t-shirts because vintage t-shirts were made in the US, and those will all be tariffed on their way up here. I don't know why they picked clothing, but it was one of the retaliatory tariffs. So you just have to be really careful. You can go to the Canadian Border Service Agency website and put in the item that you want to buy, like a description of it, a general description of it, and find out. Ben Angie says, I was charged $60 duty for an antique doll I received today. Holy cow. Yes. Sounds like you spent a lot of money on it. If you, they've also been, I've noticed that also it used to be like $70 US was kind of the threshold, but they've lowered that to like around $35. So they're pulling in more money. Nietzsche says jewelry chew. I was charged $53 for a $6 pair of earrings. Ow, Nietzsche. That hurts. That really hurts. Were they made in the USA? Because if they weren't made in the USA, so here's the other thing is Canadian sellers now have to, on Whatnot, Canadian sellers now, before we can ship something out across the border to another country on Whatnot, we have to put the country of origin in before Whatnot system will let us put in a label. And I've got that in one of my videos from last week. So if the stuff was made in the USA, then you're going to get tariffed. Whatnot's system automatically puts made in the USA on the declaration label when it ships. At Emerald City Vintage, you enter a country of origin, you go to your shipments at seller.whatnot.com, you go to your shipments, you select the shipment, and then it will come up with a pop-up on the right-hand side that will ask you for country of origin. Look at that, Angie, you made egg. Yay! Congratulations. But the US doesn't have that yet. So when anything ships up, you buy it from a US seller on Whatnot. If you're a Canadian and you buy from a US seller, everything is automatically marked as it being made in the USA, which means it's going to get tariffed. A significant portion of it is going to get tariffed. Even if nothing in there was made in the USA and it was all made in China, we don't have tariffs on China in the same way. So what you need to do is, if you see that and you think, you know what, this isn't right, not all this stuff was actually made in the USA, and you know that, before you accept that package from Canada Post, when you get that charge from Canada Post, what I want you to do is I want you to say to the postal worker, say, I want to appeal this. Please send this back to the Border Service Agency. And then they'll get you to fill in a form, and then and they will send it back to the Border Services Agency, not return to sender. Send it back to the Border Services Agency. And then what you want to do is you will get an email with a form you need to fill out, and then put in all the details about what you bought, what it is, and what it was actually made, so that when they open the box, they can look for themselves and see, yeah, you know what? All of this stuff was actually made not in the USA, and so it's fine. And so you can actually appeal those duty charges. You do not have to just pay them. You can appeal them if you feel like it was unfairly done because of a mistake on the part of the shipper to declare what the country of origin actually was. So just like if a shipper lied and they caught the country of origin and said this is actually all made in the USA and they said it was made in Canada or something, then they'll still charge you for it. Same thing. Like you can appeal it. So that is one option that you have. Hi, Country Roads with Michelle. Country roads take me home to the place I belong. As Fish, what's up, honey? How are you? Okay. Last chance to ask your questions and share your shows, and I'm going to find someone to rate into, but don't feel like, so if you're new to my shows, sorry for all the woohooing that's happening. If an item does not have made in X anywhere, what do we do then? So use your best educated guess, Emerald City Vintage, not guess, research. Use Google Lens, because Canadian Border Service Agency and the US Border Service Agency, they have phones too, and that's basically what they're using to figure out where it's from. If it's like, yeah, Ben Angie, it's like an antique or something, then just use Google Lens. Ask Google Lens, where was this made? And you'll probably get an answer of where it thinks it was made. And that's what the border agents are also looking at. They've got the same tools. So just use the same thing, and then use your best guess. If you are unsure, you can't put you don't know, because there's no country called you don't know. So just use your best educated guess. Yeah, I'd hate to have their jobs on any day, but especially now. Okay, let's see. Great Canadian Jewelry is on. Engraver in of Trees is on. I haven't gone into them before. Let's see. I'm gonna sneak a peek. All right, I think we're going to go into Engraver of Trees, because I've never gone into Engraver of Trees before. And I think we've already rated once into Great Canadian Jewelry. So we're going to go into Engraver of Trees. If my ink comes from China, but it's made in Canada. Oh, your DTFs, it's so where something is made is based on where was it substantially changed. So you use ink to create your DTF transfers, but your DTF transfers are printed in Canada. Therefore, printed in Canada means made in Canada. So you're covered. You're good. So like if you made jewelry and the pieces of jewelry, some of the pieces of jewelry came from China, that does not mean that the item is made in China. It means that some of the pieces were, but it was substantially changed or altered in Canada. And so it becomes handcrafted in Canada. It's the magic. No problem, Robin. That's what I'm here for. That's what I do. All right. So we are going to go into, what did I say? Engraver of Trees. I've never been in their show before. Their stuff looks really pretty. So we're going to go hang out there. Thanks for hanging out with me. I always leave my live shows up on YouTube so you can watch things over again, because we don't have past shows anymore on Whatnot. But yeah, if you have any questions, you can always feel free to ask me in between, and I will try to answer as best I can when I have time. But otherwise, come into my morning shows and ask your questions. That's what I'm here for. And I love you guys so much. Thanks for all the hearts. I love you. Have a great night. Let's go right into Engraver of Trees. And yeah, let's do a whole bunch of emojis. Put whatever emoji you want. So let's go rock it. Back in black, antique trim and jewelry. Sounds awesome. Okay, love you guys.